presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
Here's the man of the hour for the Padres, Ryan Schimpf.
That's way back, and it is gone!
He's unbelievable. Schimpf cocktails for everybody.
That ball is drilled to right field. Is touch 'em all. An amazing night for Ryan Schimpf. 2 homers, 2 doubles, and the Padres win. An amazing game last night, tied at 4, 10th inning. Schimpf had already hit 2 doubles and a game-tying home run. He drills a 3-run shot into the right field bleachers. Well, it's been an all-star year here at Petco Park in San Diego. That was an all-star performance in his brief Major League career for Ryan Schimpf. With Mark Swinney, Dick Enberg, we're pleased you're with us on a Saturday night at beautiful Petco Park, Game 3 of the 4-game series. And Schimpf with the Bayou Blast pleased a lot of Padre fans last night.
Well, the LSU Tiger has been just that. He has been spectacular in his showcase at the big league level. Last night, with a multi-home run game, the big blast. That was the one that really shocked me. The down and in, split finger going the other way at Petco Park, not many times. And then the dramatics. Ryan Schimpf, his 3rd multi-home run game of his short career, and he is impressing in showing that he can be here in the big leagues, and he is proving his worth.
Think about it. 53 games is all he's played, and he has 14 home runs. If you carry that out for a full season, he'd have a 40 home run year.
Yeah, pretty incredible, and you have to contend with Gene Segura. He has been a pest to San Diego pitching, especially in this series. 7 for 10, but you also understand, too, he's the leadoff hitter, leads the NL in first inning hits with 40. He's only behind Jose Altuve. He has been a pest, looks very comfortable at the plate. Look for them to contend with him early in this game.
Well, 156 hits, that leads the entire National League, so it's not by accident that he's 7 for 10 in this series. Well, Ryan Schimpf has had a night to sleep and assimilate what has happened in the last 24 hours. How does he rate the experience and the performance last night? We'll find out.
Welcome back to Petco Park for Game 3 of the series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Well, let's revisit last night's hero, Ryan Schimpf, who's just the 6th Padre ever to have 4 extra base hits in one night, a certainly career night for him. Well, here he is on the very impressive and long journey to the major leagues.
It took me a while to get here, but you know, I always loved the game, and I love being in the clubhouse with the guys, and I love getting better, and I believe in myself. You know, that I would get here at some point, just a matter of when and where. So yeah, I mean, minor leagues can be a grind at times, but you know, if you love the game and you love what you do, then it's not. So you know, I love playing baseball and getting better. So just kept believing and just kept working.
And keep in mind, his first major league home run came on July 1st, so he's hit 14 home runs in just a month and a half. Pretty impressive. When we come back, it's a battle of the Southpaws. Robbie Ray on the hill for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Clayton Richard with his first start at Petco Park as a Padre since 2013 for San Diego. Coming up.
Presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by GMC. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. By Pinnacle on the Park, make your new home here. Visit pinnacleonthepark.com for details. And by Jerome's Furniture, where Jerry's price is the lowest price every day. Saturday night, baseball night in San Diego. The Padres and the Arizona Diamondbacks and Clayton Richard and the starting 9 take the field. On a Chamber of Commerce Saturday, temperature baseball perfect, 75 degrees. We're pleased you joined us as the Padres have played well on Friday and Saturday nights, and hopefully that'll continue. A dramatic come from behind extra inning walk-off win last night. Diamondbacks bring this lineup to the game tonight. It's brought to you by Hyundai. Gene Segura, 7 for 10 in the series. Then Phil Gosselin hit second at second. Segura, by the way, moves from second to short. Paul Goldschmidt, the all-star. Then Ricky Weeks Jr. in the cleanup spot, followed by Yasmani Tomas, their leading home run hitter with 25. Wellington Castillo's having a good season, both behind the plate and with the bat. Mitch Haniger making his major league debut in the series. Then Brandon Drury and the left-handed pitcher Robbie Ray.
Padres Scouting Report brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air. The big left-hander Clayton Richards. No pitch count tonight, but he will be monitored. His second start and his first home start since 2013.
He said, almost working from a stretch position, backs off the rubber as Gene Segura steps in. The 32-year-old left-hander from the University of Michigan, ready to go. And here's the first pitch of the game in there for a strike at 88 miles an hour. Some shadows that are going to challenge some of the fielders here early on, right fielder especially Bethancourt, and also Myers and Schimpf on the right side. Another strike, 91 on that delivery. And even the hitter now in the shade, pitcher in the sun, and the center field area bathed in sunshine as well.
Well, that does affect seeing the pitch and seeing the spin on the pitch.
Ground ball pulled to the left side. Solarte cuts it off and throws him out. Well, that's a good start just to get Segura to go back and take a seat. He's worn out, the Padres. The Padres defense is brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers, and there's number 46, Keevlahan. Just called him up. Patrick Keevlahan. The Padres picked him up on waivers, Seattle Mariners. He's got some power and making his major league debut as a Padre. There's the rest of the outfield. Jankowski and Bethancourt with Solarte and Ramirez on the left side. Schimpf and Myers on the right side. Norris behind the plate. First pitch to Phil Gosselin, the second baseman, just off the plate. Hitting .274. Entered the game last night. Delivered a pinch hit single. Sneaky fast.
Well, we're seeing Clayton Richard early in this ball game really focus on the tempo of the game in between pitches. Watch how uncomfortable it makes those hitters.
Big guy is Richard, 6'5" and 240. That one inside, 2 balls and a strike. Against the Mets on Sunday, well, the Padres took the loss 5-1. Richard gave them 5 good innings, allowed only 2 runs and 3 hits. Struck out 3.
Well, I'll show you the indication of the shadows and how they're affecting the hitters.
Swing and a miss. 2-2.
Works to both sides, so obviously you have to bear down with your first at bats until the shadows leave the ballpark.
Especially difficult with a breaking ball that starts in the sunshine and then goes through the shadows and might even come out on the sunshine again. Just off the inside corner and a full count.
Well, Dick, you touched on it. The motion of Clayton Richards, pretty simple when it comes down to it, but he hides the ball so well. It's not necessarily velocity, but you have deception in your delivery. And if you hide the baseball till that release point, hitters have troubles with those.
3-2. Chopped. Tough play. Let it go. Yes, that's a foul ball. They weren't going to throw out Gosselin.
I like how you gave some help there.
That's the old coach in me.
I love that.
Yeah,
surprised both of us didn't yell it.
No one listens to me anyway.
Well, you see that, and it came off the plate and has that spin that goes easily foul, but good decision by Clayton Richard and also Yangervis Solarte.
A couple of swinging bunt singles last night by Chris Owings, and one of them drove in a run early. Paul Goldschmidt will be next. Just underway. And well, you just couldn't ask for more of a Chamber of Commerce day for baseball than this.
75 and sunny.
Beautifully boring. Ground ball to short. Ramirez across, and there's 2 away. How about tonight's Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Clean, Crisp, Coors Light, active major league pitchers. Clayton Richard gets the ball and throws it. He's the quickest worker of any of these active hurlers. Dickey, Blanton, Anderson, and Wiley, they don't waste time either. But Clayton's always enjoyed getting the ball, get assigned, and throw it up there.
Now it's going to be pretty interesting, the gamesmanship with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Will they step out? Will they call time? Try to keep it to their pace.
Goldschmidt, the hitter, and he takes a strike on the outside. Goldschmidt hitting .301. The All-Star with 18 homers. Leads the team, 74 runs batted in. Foul tip, strike 2. Calling the balls and strikes tonight, Marty Foster with Eddings, Winters, and Muchlinski on the bases.
Well, Goldschmidt leads the Arizona Diamondbacks with 14 plate appearances against Clayton Richard.
Uh-oh, that one is hit deep to left field, but it's going to stay in the yard as Kivleham makes the catch. We're going to have to work on a very difficult combination of vowels. There have been some interesting plays in the two games of this series. That was that bases clearing double by the Padres Dickerson, then pinch running Edwin Jackson as a pinch runner, and 22 runs scored in seemed like a month, and they've been able to rack up almost that amount in two games. Clayton Richard at Petco has been a good workman and successful record. 3.01 ERA. Any pitcher would take that. And second base production, 2 years combined, 22 home runs from the Padres second baseman, and Schimpf in just over 50 games has 14. Alexei Ramirez leads off the bottom of the first inning. Hit lead off on the road trip and had a couple of hits. Liked the spot. 0-2 as Robbie Ray, the 24-year-old from Brentwood, Tennessee, on the mound for the D-backs. He's a strikeout pitcher. 161 punch-outs in 133 innings. Chop to the right side, and Goldschmidt, the only D-back on that entire right side, makes the play. Padres lineup brought to you by Toyota with Ramirez, then Myers and Solarte. Brian Schimpf moves up into the cleanup spot off his big night last night. 2 doubles, 2 home runs. Christian Bethencourt will bat fifth, and Derek Norris. And the new Padre Patrick Kivleham will hit seventh. Clayton Richard, the pitcher, hitting eighth, and Travis Jankowski moves from the number 1 spot to the number 9 spot. What's the thinking there by Manager Green?
Well, I think it's just another leadoff guy, and for Travis Jankowski, he has to produce against left-handers, especially with Robbie Ray with the strikeout ability, as you touched on.
First pitch is a strike to Will Myers at 95.
Now both pitchers are getting the ball, getting on the rubber, and getting after it.
23 homers, 71 runs batted in. The club leader in the power department. Myers has been all year, especially after Kemp left for other grounds.
Let's take a look at the scouting report for Robbie Ray. 6-11 record, his 25th start in a Diamondbacks uniform this year. 0-4 with a 6 ERA against the Pods, including a loss at Arizona on May 27th.
2-strike pitch. Down goes Myers. Boy, Myers, 3 pitches and another strikeout, leads the club in strikeouts and was punched out a couple of times last night. Defense for Arizona as Weeks in left, Haniger in center, and Tomas playing right field. He had some problems last night, a couple of misplayed balls. On the infield, Drury and Segura on the left side. Gosselin and Goldschmidt second and first. Castillo behind the plate for Ray. Jan Solarte
He goes around.
Well, you see the awkward swing. Some interesting stats to watch and monitor tonight. You see Robbie Ray, 10.89 strikeouts per 9 innings. So you see the velocity on the fastball. Very aggressive with the fastball. But watch the first, second, and third times through the order. Reason why I say that: first time 201 opponent average with 2 home runs. Second time 297. Third time through the order 345. That tells me teams are making adjustments. He's not going to be pitching too long in this ball game if those adjustments are made.
On ball foul, hit sharply. On the season, Ray is 6-11 with an ERA of 4.47. Opposing hitters batting .273. His record against San Diego is 0-4. Boy, you can hear him grunting on his delivery all the way up in the press box.
Yeah, reminds me of a tennis player, Monica Seles, with the grunt.
Yeah. No Maria Sharapova now, but maybe a Seles. Two and two. Pulled to third. Deep at third is Drury. The long throw in plenty of time. So each pitcher starts well. A 1-2-3 inning.
On the top of the second inning. Well, Tyson Ross threw a second live BP today. He said he was feeling good after. He was very comfortable with his delivery, and he said it was really nice to just get the juices flowing. And what was really cool was about 80% of the team was out there watching and supporting him, and there was certainly no doubt that the goal is to get him back out there as quickly as possible, guys.
All right, thank you, Michelle. Yeah, Ross looked like he had good stuff and came out of it feeling 100%. He's getting close to a rehab assignment.
Hey, you think about Tyson Ross and mentally the challenge is getting over that, but he looked free and easy today. I don't know what the velocity was, but he looked very comfortable with his fastball.
Ricky Weeks leads off the second inning for Arizona with Tomas and Castillo to follow. Former Milwaukee Brewer, Weeks was a top draft pick in his day and has exceptional power. Not a tall man, but a strong player.
Pinch hit double last night for Ricky Weeks and came around and scored.
Brother of Jamiel, who started the season with the Padres and had a good spring training.
Now you think about that second base position from the San Diego Padres. Corey Spangenberg goes down with an injury. Weeks goes down with an injury, and now we're talking about Ryan Schimpf and what a production he's had at second base.
Back to the mound, and Richard will run it halfway there and toss for the out. Well, there's where You stay ready, and Schimpf, we saw that interview with Michelle. You know, you stay ready. You don't give up the dream. You try to continue to be better, and then the breaks fall your way. Tough for others to be injured, but you get the opportunity, and he is stomping on that with full force.
Dick, you present yourself, and you have to believe in yourself, and that's what we got from Michelle's report. And I love that, because there's times, and there's trying times in the minor leagues, even though you're there, as we see Corey Spangenberg still on the disabled list.
Quad injury, and then he re-injured it, aggravated it. In a long time since he's been on the field.
But the passion that Ryan Schimpf has shown, and obviously the power.
Tomas right to Schimpf on cue. We want to direct our shots right at the man we're talking about. 5 up, 5 down for Clayton Richard for ground outs.
I think the big thing too, if you're looking at Ryan Schimpf, is it's not necessarily offensive minded. He has put in a body of work with Eddie Rodriguez and also Glenn Hoffman in his defense every single day, working on it. There's the two. They're constantly together doing the shifts defensively, holding them in.
If you had a quarter for every time those two guys have hit a fungo ground ball in their career, we'd just retire now.
Exactly.
Buy a castle in Scotland.
We'd give him Pomeranz's.
Oh, his digs, yeah.
Oh.
Pitch to Wellington Castillo, hitting .269 is his strike. Last 7 games, hitting .458. Had a hit in 5 at bats last night. 1-1. Now, what you have to embrace as a baseball fan is Schimpf's stick-to-itiveness at 28 years of age. Finally gets a major league chance, and he signed a minor league contract with the Padres. He was not on the 40-man roster in spring training. Out of play.
Well, to put that in perspective too, it's very hard to get that crystal ball and know when you're going to have that opportunity, when you're going to get that chance. But Ryan Schimpf has persevered through a lot. Now, that being said, you also have in the back of your mind that a lot of people would give anything to play in the minor leagues and get that opportunity to get to the big leagues. That's motivation in itself.
1-2 to Castillo. Inside. He had less than 100 games in AAA ball in his career. So he's made a quantum leap to go from AA, lost in the Toronto Blue Jay organization, to becoming a hero last night, a baseball hero. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Richard with a solid start. 6 up, 6 down, no score at Petco.
Trade focuses on the second baseman, Ryan Schimpf, and last night's production tying the ball game. This ball is almost on the dirt, and he takes it to left center with the power, tying the ball game. And then Late inning dramatics. You see the location. It's supposed to be down. It's elevated. Patrick Corbin does not throw another pitch because that's a walk-off for Ryan Schimpf.
And he's elevated in the lineup to the cleanup spot tonight. He starts things here in the bottom of the second. Remember, this man is only 5'9", 180 pounds, and generates so much incredible power.
15 home runs in El Paso, 14 at the big league level, 29. I don't care where you're hitting. That is production, especially from the second base position.
Where does he get his power, though? He's not the biggest man in the world.
Well, his lower half works really well, and you got to have a good base. There's going to be some tough times, as you see right there, with the strikeouts and the consistency with the batting average. But Ryan Schimpf, when he gets mistakes, he can deposit it any part of the ballpark.
Breaking ball away gets him there, and the putout made 2-3. One out in the second. Right fielder Christian Bethancourt. Half a dozen home runs against Arizona. He's had considerable success this year, hitting .364. Of course, that's been the Achilles of the Arizona season, their pitching, as they are last in the National League.
So Fox tracks by Honda. Had that way in off the plate. Marty Foster, the home plate umpire tonight.
Bethancourt backing out of the batter's box in dismay at the call. Same spot. This time it's a ball.
Now it's a smart pitch by Ray. If he's going to give it to you, why not go back?
Pulled foul. Ray's been involved in a couple of trades in his career. Originally signed out of high school by Washington in the 12th round in 2010. Then in 2013 traded by Washington to Detroit in the Doug Fister deal. Fister going to the Nationals, and then the next year traded by Detroit to Arizona for Didi Gregorius. Gregorius since traded to New York and is their starting shortstop. Excuse me, foul.
Well, that has a lot to do with wins and trying to get the W's and pitching deeper in the ball games. 5-12 record last year in 23 starts, excuse me, but also 119 strikeouts. You see the velocity on the fastball. Adding a third pitch might be something that Robbie Ray has to do moving forward.
A ball, 2 strikes to Bethancourt.
That being said, obviously fastball, slider, almost a slurve action you're getting, but you can create different pitches. Obviously the changeup he has, but he doesn't throw it with confidence. That's maybe the reason why you see the averages from the second at bat and the third at bat moving forward.
Another foul. Bethancourt. The count stays at 1-2. The shadows have grown to cover most of Petco Park. Right fielder Tomas still staring into the late setting sun on this August 20th. Pulled sharply and foul. Lined off the low barrier there, guarding the box seats on the left field side.
So many times as your first at bat, you need to gain knowledge. Christian Bethancourt has seen all of the repertoire from Robbie Ray. Moving forward, that's a good sign. Sometimes your at bats, you have to gain some knowledge for the later at bats during the ball game.
That's on the inside corner, says Foster. Boy, he's been generous in there. And Bethancourt says that strike zone mighty wide, Mr. Umpire.
Yeah, to see Marty Foster pointing to the dugout like getting out of there. I don't like that. It's all right to have conversations. It's your at bat. I like how they handle that stuff. They don't like to get shown up. Why show up somebody else?
A couple of strikeouts here to open the second inning for Robbie Ray.
On the road traveling and want to watch your Padres? Subscribe to MLB.TV Premium for live or on-demand baseball on over 400 devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more. Blackouts and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.com TV for details.
First pitch strike paints the outside corner to Derek Norris. So 3 strikeouts, first 5 batters for Ray. It's going to be a pitcher's night if Foster is going to give that many pitches off the plate strikes. 0-2 to Norris.
Well, Mike Muchlinski last night had a bigger strike zone, but he was consistent on both sides. There's no problem with that. You're going to have to make some adjustments, but it doesn't mean that you can't ask the umpire where that pitch was.
High and away. Well, Ray does really bark out on the delivery of the pitch. Swing and a miss. He strikes out the side. 4 punch outs in the first 2 innings for Robbie Ray. Lots to talk about, but let's start with one of your top pupils. Back in spring training, you see Ryan Schimpf for the first time, I'm suspecting.
Exactly.
What was your impressions?
I was like, wow, why hasn't this kid been given an opportunity? He had a really good, clean swing when I first saw him in the cage, and I was just like, man, this guy don't mind the sunflower seeds. I really liked his swing right away, and he was open to listen and learn. He was very eager to wanting to get to the big league, so I was excited about having him in the organization.
Alan, when you look at Ryan and you see the work ethic that he puts in, not only offensively but defensively as well, is that one of the traits that you'd like to have throughout your players?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you want somebody that's going to have that growth mindset in every aspect of the game, from defense to offense to base running to conditioning to just everything. Just what are you going to do to get to the big leagues? I'll do anything possible, and that's the kind of attitude he has, and it's really refreshing.
Well, the challenge for the hitting coach is you have it's a box of chocolates. You've got the varying styles, and let's go to the other end. Here's Travis Jankowski, not a home run hitter. You want to get him on base.
Oh, I love this kid. This kid is talk about another growth mindset, and a kid that's willing to take risks and to try to take it into the game that's not easy to do, and he's been working really hard since spring training to try to transition his trigger to the ball once he lands at the launch position. And he had a little hip leak, and his barrel would lag, and he would bounce a lot of balls on the ground. And obviously he's really fast, and he was getting away with some of it, but at this level he's going to have to command his ABs a little bit better and get that bat through the barrel or through the zone. And so we went through and broke everything down, and he's been working every day. Good routine, and he's now that trigger is now transitioning, off of some velo in the games and different spots in the area where he had some problems last year. And this is really fun to see, and super excited to watch him.
Haniger strikes out. This is Brendan Drury. You said he takes risk. He's been. What do you mean by Travis taking a risk?
Well, I'm talking like when we work on something, he's not afraid to take it into the game. Like a lot of guys don't want to try maybe a physical adjustment because they just don't know, because they're fighting for every day. They're fighting for their numbers, and Travis knows that he trusts the process. He goes, I might not do well tonight, but I need to do it in the game for me to be able to someday really understand it and do it. So some guys, they shy away from it. They don't want to really, make those physical adjustments or a big adjustment and waste. Maybe they think they're wasting ABs.
Alan, when you think about making adjustments in season and then off-season projects as well, how do you balance that? Is it more personality, or is it like you talked about having that opportunity in front of them and you're very cautious of that?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's individual. One thing that was good for Travis was that he wasn't playing every single day. So, as John Jay was in there every day, most of the time, Travis was in there working, and so he was able to get comfortable with the adjustment. But usually, a big adjustment like that's done in the off season. It takes the personality of the kid. It takes he's got to have an open mind. He's got to have that growth mindset that I talked about earlier. And he's got to have an understanding. And from my side, I try to give him the explanation, or I try to give him the reason why the adjustment's needed, or why the adjustment might benefit him in the long run. Because if you just tell a kid, hey, let's do a leg kick, or hey, let's try this stance, or put your hands here. If you don't tell them why, they're just going to fill that with their own ideas, and they're not going to really buy into it.
One more question as Drury fouls that off. Leading off the next inning will be the newest Padre, Patrick Kivlahan. Have you had a chance to see him on video or batting practice today?
Today, yeah, batting practice, it was nice. Looked like a powerful swing to all fields, and I'm excited to see him have his first Major League AB.
Alan, I wanted to touch on Alex Dickerson, obviously the big hit 2 nights ago, the game winner. Your impressions of what Alex has done, excuse me.
Well, yeah, he's obviously he's put up some really good numbers in the minor leagues, and his last year when he was up here a little bit, he kind of didn't do what he wanted to do in spring training. He in big league camp, he was still struggling a little bit, but Alex has just, what he's understood at this point is his timing. He's just getting started a little bit earlier. He's trusting that, and he's able to get his hands in the right position to trigger.
Solarte near the bag to throw wild and safe at first is Drury on the errant throw from the Padre third baseman, and that's the first base runner. Well, thank you, Alan Zenter. I know you're like a father here. These are all your kids, and you take pride in each and every one at the time that you spend to try to make them better, and how pleasing it is when they produce for you.
It's very nice. He's got great character kids and good people, so it's fun to be around.
Alan, thanks for your time.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. So an error on Solarte, first base runner. And with 1 out, brings up Robbie Ray, the pitcher, in a sacrifice situation. Zenter himself was a very high draft pick back in his high school days.
Well, what makes Alan Zenter special is the passion, first and foremost, and he puts in the time and the energy. And I say that because you would think you would expect it would be for everybody. Well, there's different personalities with hitting coaches, and the ones that I've been around that want to work, and they're indebted into what you're doing individually. That's what makes Alan Zenter special. And we've seen the coaching carousel with the hitting coaches around here. It's been very difficult to keep the continuity of a hitting coach here. Well, Alan Zenter is a perfect example of that. You're seeing the development from these younger hitters, and also he improved guys that had a track record in the game as well.
Ray tries to bunt again and takes strike 3. Fouled off a couple, and that's 2 away here in the third inning. How about a look at the keys to the game? Mark Swinney, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Excuse me, Alan Zenter talked about the Cajun power. Ryan Schimpf, 5 for 8 in the series, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, third multi-home run game last night, and limit the bullpen innings. It comes down to Clayton Richard tonight, and he looks very comfortable early in this ball game.
Should be out of this third inning. Now to the leadoff man, Segura, and he's got that tough move over to first base, does Richard. Just to wrap up Alan Zenter's role, and it's probably the least attractive job in baseball, being the hitting coach. It's so complicated, and you've got to be able to have your own philosophy of hitting and yet apply that to all the differences in the players you're coaching.
Yes.
You can't just say everybody do this. You've got to take the hitter and you mold your philosophy around his talent.
Well, they're not robots, and that's the specialty of Alan Zinter. He puts a lot of pride in his work, and it shows. Being around him just a little bit of time, I love his passion for his job, and he embraces the challenge. And you have to do that if you're a hitting coach or a pitching coach in the game of baseball.
Segura just tried to bunt for a base hit. Now there's 2 outs. He's hitting .321, one of the best hitters in the league. Why wouldn't you want him swinging away here?
Yeah, I don't like 2-out bunts at all. And yes, you're trying to get on and hopefully giving it to the next, but you have swung the bat very well. 7 for 10 coming into this series.
We talked about it last night, how he crouched the plate. There's a good example. He backed away like it was going to hit him, and you saw it was almost in the strike zone. 1-2 the count. He's been hit 10 times more than any D-back. You can see why. That one sails outside. 2-2. With the Cubs this year, 25 appearances, all in relief, and Clayton was relieved to know when he came here with the Padres he's going to be back in the starting role. He feels that's where he's at his best. Two and two. Segura. Boy, he's been calling pitches a lot farther off the plate than that for strikes. 3-2.
Now 3-2 count. You wonder if Clayton Richard will go back to that pickoff move.
Wait, and then no. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. He gets Segura. He strikes out the side. Clayton Richard. Robbie Ray in command early here in Game 3 of the weekend series. No score.
I was actually in my hotel room late last night because we had an early bus this morning to head back to El Paso. So Barajas called me at about 1:30 and we had a 4 o'clock bus. So I got the call. Didn't really sleep much after that. And then I hopped on a bus, drove to Denver, and then flew out here. It's a little nerve-wracking, but I mean, I'd rather just get out there and play than just sit. So it's pretty cool. I've played pretty much third, first, left, right, even a little bit of center the last couple of years. So to the point now where I can kind of play anywhere. I don't.
So there are the words from the man leading off here, the newest Padre, Patrick Kivlahan. He's a graduate of Rutgers, 26 years of age, good power. He's 6'2" and 215, 26. Nyack, New York.
And from Rutgers University and a former football player.
He's built like one. Played winter ball as well in the offseason in the Dominican League and hit over 300. 2 balls and a strike. That one popped out of play. When the Padres picked him up on waivers, Seattle letting him go, sent him to El Paso. 12 games there. He hit .341, 15 hits and 44 trips. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Strike 3 called. A good pitch by Robbie Ray, who has now struck out 4 in a row and 5 in the first 2 1/3 innings.
31 pitches on the night for Robbie Ray. 28 of those have been fastballs. Tells you what you're getting. You're going to have to make the adjustment. Obviously, getting him on the plate will be very important.
Clayton Richard batting in the 8th spot in the batting order. He's had 1 chance to swing, and that was against the Mets last weekend. 0 for 1. Career 1 home run. Have you heard anyone groan like Ray is tonight?
No, I have not. But when you grunt and you throw upper 90s, I'm okay with that.
Boy, Nolan Ryan, you could hear him, especially in the late innings when he might throw 220 pitches. Two balls and a strike. Outside, 3-1. 95 on the miss. Well, they would have caught the corner. It was a bit low as Travis Jankowski hit in the second cleanup spot, number 9. And he walked the pitcher. That's the first Padre base runner. How do you do? Time for great moments in Padres history, brought to you by Geico. Bottom of the 13th inning, pitcher Clayton Richard delivers a pinch hit single and then gallops around the bases to score the game winner on an Angels error, and the Padres win 3-2 back on May 20th, 2012. That was a highlight game.
Well, what an athlete. He was going around those bases. There's no chance he wasn't going to score.
Former quarterback, backup quarterback at Michigan, he was running for the end zone. Jankowski now with 2 out, or 1 out rather, and the pitcher aboard.
Well, I like how he showed at first pitch, and I'll tell you why. Clayton Richard walking on the 5 pitches, but also bringing those corners in, being aware that you'll take it with you. Brandon Drury is already on the grass when you're talking about the bunt. See him back right there now. And that's the reason why he wants to show Travis he's back on the dirt, and he'll start creeping in just a little bit before the pitch is thrown. But he has created openings within the infield.
Correction of the bunt in this situation to the first baseman because he's obligated to hold on the runner. Another miss. That's 6 balls thrown by Ray in the last 7 pitches.
You see Robbie Ray peeking into Marty Foster as well. Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, out to have a conversation with Robbie Ray.
And this has been one of the difficulties for Ray, who can mow you down with the strikeouts as he has shown us early, but he can fall into a pattern where he just can't find home plate. Only 1 base runner the first 3 innings for Arizona, and that came on Drury's ground ball to Solarte threw wildly at first base. Now the Padres have their first base runner, pitcher Richard, and Jankowski with a 2-0 delivery coming up. Swinging, and that's a strike. 2-1. Big hold on that right side if Jankowski can pull it, but that's really not his game. Most of his hits this year have been to the left field side.
Well, he's been very proficient to that left side, especially here at home.
And a miss again, 3-1.
Now the tendency when you have a high velocity guy is to cheat on the fastball, and your swing gets longer. You have to be short and let him supply the power.
So Ramirez, the leadoff hitter tonight, on deck. 3 balls and a strike. All back. That was a good quick stroke. Took that right out of the catcher's glove.
They heard Alan Zinter talking about a clean swing. And what that is it's just very fluid through the strike zone. Stays in the strike zone, but also has length through the baseball.
Sign her up. Clean catch up there. Brought her glove. Souvenir reward. Chop to the right side. They'll get one, but that's all with Jankowski's speed, and that's okay. You take Richard off the bases, get him back in the dugout where he can rest. 2 outs. They'll take their time now for Richard to jog off the field before Ramirez steps in. Today's transaction then, Kivlahan and left-handed pitcher Keith Hessler will join the bullpen up from El Paso with Nick Noonan and Ryan Buchter going down to the Chihuahuas. Surprise you that Buchter's going down?
Well, that'll raise some eyebrows. And to your question, Dick, I think it's pretty important to know that Ryan Buchter has gone through a lot in his first year at the big league level. He pitched winter ball, also came into spring training needing to win a job, and he did just that, but also taxing innings. And in my estimation, I think he got a little bit tired. You saw that the last few outings. But I think Ryan Buchter needs a little bit of time off. Remember, the rosters expand. And he pitched in 58 games on the season. And Andy Green understands that's an arm moving forward that they can definitely protect.
And he can go down there and not be on demand to pitch every night out of the pen. They can rest him a couple of games. Interesting that just all the decision making, it isn't arbitrary at all. I mean, there's a lot of thought that goes into how do we move our players, keep them healthy, ensure their future.
Well, you always want to win ball games, but you go a 6-man rotation. You're trying to protect the innings of the bullpen and also your stars moving forward, who you're going to have next year to move forward with. And Ryan Buchter is definitely cemented, in my opinion, in that 8th inning role.
Did a great job all season long, and may have had a little arm fatigue here of late, but his batting average against on the season 174. ERA at an even 3. So 2 outs. Jankowski a threat at first base, and Ray keeping an eye on him. And a pop fly off first. Overcomes Castillo and Goldschmidt, and it's into the dugout. Jankowski on the season with 26 steals. Segura had 3 last night, so he leapfrogged ahead of Jankowski. Billy Hamilton, no surprise there, with 52 for the Reds.
That's in 96 games played for Travis Jankowski. And remember, those games played were affected at the beginning of the year as a defensive replacement.
A ball and a strike to the veteran Ramirez. Big hole up the middle between the shortstop and the second base bag as they play Ramirez to pull. Inside and low, 2-1. Ray not quite as sharp here in the 3rd inning.
Well, he's not getting those borderline pitches as well. Pitches that were called off the plate. I think the sight lines for everybody now, the hitters and the umpire, is much improved.
Outside, 3-1.
Well, he doesn't look as comfortable in the stretch as well.
Will Myers waits his turn. 3 balls and a strike to Ramirez. Nub to first. Goldschmidt beats Ramirez to the bag, and the inning is over. 3 complete on this beautiful Saturday night. No score.
Balsley is pretty familiar with tonight's starter, Clayton Richard, as they work together here a couple years back when Clayton was a Padre back then. And I asked Balsley how much his repertoire has changed since Clayton was a Padre, and he said he's eliminated his curveball, but the biggest change is that he's lowered his arm slot. He used to throw from 3/4, and now he's more sidearm. Mark, what have you noticed tonight?
Well, I see just that, Michelle, and thank you for the report. That dropping down of the arm angle will induce a little bit more movement. You're seeing that late movement in the hitting zone. Induces more ground balls, but also the deception with his torso.
Phil Gosselin leading off the 4th for Arizona, and the count goes 2-0.
When you take a look at the delivery and coming right at you, that upper torso, you don't see that release point, and dropping down that arm angle will induce a little bit more late movement, the two-seam action.
And he falls behind Gosselin, 3-0. No walks, no hits. 4 strikeouts so far for Clayton Richard. Well, that's right on the bottom of the strike zone. Not good enough for Foster to call a strike. So the leadoff man on. First walk of the game, Clayton Richard. And a reminder, tonight's telecast and these wonderful pictures presented in HD by Sony. Paul Goldschmidt lined to left his first time. Infield set for 2. That went in and out of the glove of Norris, and again the ball in the strike zone, and it is called a strike. Although the scoreboard shows it was called a ball, now it changes. Oh, and 2. Well, you can climb the ladder, and you can also go down the ladder and see if you could.
Well, I think it's just as important, to your point, Dick, I mean, having that two-seam action. I think he called that first pitch a ball, so it's a 1-1 count.
I thought it was. Okay, he's corrected that 1-1, although that was clearly a better looking pitch than the ball he called a strike, the second pitch. So Andy Foster has a confusing strike zone so far. Stay tuned. A ball and a strike. 50 pitches now for Clayton Richard. Just off the outside edge.
Now, something to watch tonight is the Diamondbacks and their runners on base. With the good move of Clayton Richard, they've had 30 stolen bases since August 7th, which leads the majors. They've turned up the volume on thefts.
5 last night to reach 100 for the year, 4th most in the National League, just behind the Padres. And that one is well off the plate. 3-1. So a walk to Gosselin leading off. And now Goldschmidt can be selective here, 3-1. Their top RBI producer. And he's tough against left-handed pitching, 344. And back-to-back walks to open the 4th. Brings up Ricky Weeks. Good to see the statue, just as if the sun is a spotlight on Tony Gwynn. So Richard has worked himself into trouble here with walks to Gosselin and Goldschmidt. Ricky Weeks tapped to the mound his first time.
Now Ricky Weeks Jr. loves the ball in. So look for Clayton Richard to try to keep that ball away, possibly induce a double play. Ricky Weeks has hit into 7 double plays. Only 155 at bats.
Yeah, this is about as deliberate as Clayton Richard will get, but trying to get himself settled. A little bit of wildness here, and he's way inside to Weeks. Line drive center field. Jankowski read that perfectly. They've tagged, but no advance as Jankowski's throw all the way to third on the fly. A line out for the first out here in the fourth. Clayton Richard against the Mets. Only 3 hits allowed and a couple of runs. The Padres ran into some tough pitching in New York and then again in Tampa Bay, and that was a terrific play, bouncing off the mound and throwing back across his body. So with 1 out, Yasmani Tomas is the hitter. Baseball night in San Diego, Saturday night action.
Khalil Green fan out there. Here he is. Yeah. I miss Khalil. What a shortstop.
Well, he was one of those rare individuals in Padre history to collect 4 extra base hits in one game, as did Schimpf last night.
Had some surprising power from the right side as well.
Ground ball could be 2. Schimpf, Ramirez back to first. A double play. Well, the 2 leadoff walks do not damage Clayton Richard. He gets the line out from Wicks, and the pitcher's best friend. 4, 6, 3. Coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Our MLB news and notes. Yoenis Cespedes returns to the Mets lineup and hits a couple of home runs, and the Mets beat the Giants. Carlos Gomez released by Houston, minor league deal with the Texas Rangers for the outfielder. And H.A. Pollock, good news for the D-backs. Their outstanding center fielder of a year ago, beginning a rehab in Reno, their AAA ball club. Will Myers leads off the fourth and goes around on that check swing. Struck out his first time, 1 of 5 for Robbie Ray in the first 3 innings. There's his numbers against Arizona, 391 in 11 games. And he falls behind 0-2, right down the middle with that one.
Last inning, Robbie Ray, 21 pitches, 9 strikes, 12 balls, and had to work out of the stretch a lot. Hopefully the Padres can get him in the stretch immediately this inning.
Fouled out of play. Myers, Solarte, and Schimpf to hit here in the Padre fourth. Only 1 base runner so far, and that was Clayton Richard, working a walk in the 3rd inning.
Got to be impressed at Robbie Ray and the fastball velocity, but also a quick arm. A lot of foul balls from the Padres.
Down low, breaking ball, 84. Solarte to follow. Foul tip into the glove of Castillo. Strike 3. Myers takes the long walk again. 6 strikeouts for Ray. Solarte grounded to third his first time. Fans still coming in with the earlier start on Saturdays, 5:40. And some are just finding a way to enjoy a Saturday night meal at Petco Park. They've got a lot of choices here. Strike 1 to Solarte at 95. Well, in tennis, especially women's tennis, there were a lot of complaints about Celis and Sharapova and the grunting, and that felt it was a distraction, that sometimes the grunts were so loud it hid the sound of the ball being struck. Now you wonder, even in baseball here, since you don't see that very often, and is he grunting more on the fastball or the curveball? Just grunting.
Aztec football returns Thursday on Fox Sports San Diego when NFL Hall of Famer and SDSU alum Marshall Faulk hits the field with Donnell Pumphrey to talk about the season, breaking records, and life in the NFL. Aztec football with Rocky Long returns Thursday at 9 p.m. on Fox Sports San Diego.
Going to be an exciting season for the Aztecs. Get on board. Here's Schimpf. Struck out his first time. Here's our Arco top tier player profile making history. There are the Padres, who have collected 4 extra base hits in a single game. High pop up, shallow in left field, and it wasn't read well by the left fielder, and he bobbles it. Ricky Weeks had trouble locating the ball, and by the time he got there, he muffed it, and the Padres have a man at second on the 2-base error.
Well, Chip Hale's wondering, where is the defense in the outfield? Last night, we saw Tomas have some struggles in right field. Ricky Weeks Jr., there's 2 problems here. You take a look in watching him in left field take a route to this.
Segura pointing there.
Look
it
at
is
Segura.
right up there.
He's not going out. This is the problem. You see Ricky Weeks, who's playing a deep left field, comes in, and typically he's an infielder. Obviously the basket catch is not going to work off the chest.
Hit his bare hand before it hit the glove.
Anytime you're in the outfield, you try to chest the ball. It's not going to work out for you most times.
In any sport, basketball, football, certainly the receiver you catch with your hands. A chance for the Padres with 2 outs. Bethancourt the hitter. Ball 1. And Brian Schimpf, he doesn't wait to see if it's going to be caught. He's going to run it out, as a good ball player should.
Well, we heard Tarek Brock talk about the attitude of base runners last night, and that goes with that attitude. Ryan Schimpf obviously frustrated that you pop up, but you got to run. Got to get in scoring position.
Bethancourt struck out the first time. Big swing and a miss, 1-1. Ray consistently at 95 miles an hour. Padres' second base runner. The other the walk to Richard. Both left-handers dominating here into the 4th inning. One and 2. Schimpf ready to go with 2 outs at second. And another strikeout. He strikes out the side for the second time. 8 punch outs, 4 innings for Ray.
It's time to go to bed.
And the throw to the plate goes out of play. Went home. Oh, ball game over.
They go to the drive deep right field. Can't make the play. Sarba waving him around. Unbelievable.
That ball is drilled to right field as he hit another. Touch 'em all. And the Padres.
A lot of exciting action last night. Walk-off wins around Major League Baseball, including right here at Petco Park.
Who doesn't love a walk-off win other than the visitors?
Yeah, it's been the pitchers dominating, obviously, so far. A couple errors, the only marks on the scoreboard on the RHE columns. As we go to the top of the 5th inning, Wellington Castillo, swing and a miss, 0-2. Six-game hitting streak for the D-backs catcher. He's hit .458 in this streak. Play joins us down near the Padre dugout. What are your impressions of these two left-handers?
Gosh, you got a little bit of a pitcher's duel tonight, but I tell you what, I really like to see Clayton Richard out tonight. The way he's throwing the ball, very efficient. Guys, we touched on this earlier in the pregame show about the pace of the game, and Clayton's really showing that down.
Inside, that pitch was called a strike earlier, and now Foster's strike zone tightening up a bit.
Clay, the bullpen has been taxed, and is that a thought going into a start for Clayton Richard?
I think any starter is going to want to go deep in the games, but yes, I mean, he's obviously going to know that he's going to have to take this one deep for him.
Line drive center field, that's going to fall for a base hit. Jankowski, even with all his speed, couldn't get to that, and the first hit of the game for the Diamondbacks is a solid single off the bat of Castillo.
See the two-seamer that is elevated just a little bit. Wellington Castillo hits it into center field, and watch out for Travis Jankowski with the bare hand.
So leadoff man on, brings up the rookie Mitch Haniger, just called up from the minors. He's 7 for 17. Struck out the first time and takes a strike off speed. Splash of sunshine between the decks of Petco Park, just set just right for the setting sun, almost into the batter's eyes, or at least the back of his neck. Fouled, and that got Norris. 0-2. Padre Hall of Famer, remembered. Ken Caminiti, inducted this year along with Ted Williams.
The great number 21.
Infield stacked up on the left side. Huge hole for Haniger from first baseman all the way around to Schimpf on the left side. And with the runner on, Myers locked there at first base. And he's got from first base to second base and then another 15 feet to shoot at. Look at that.
Well, the challenge is in a double play, who has the responsibility of the second base? Ryan Schimpf is going to have to make an odd turn if it's hit to the left side.
Yeah. If it's to him, he takes it himself, of course. That is outside. Whoa. Goodness. 1-2. Jammed him there.
Well, this is pretty interesting because Mitch Haniger has not been in the big leagues for too long. This is the second time the Padres have shifted, and he's 0 for 1 with the first shift.
Way outside, and the count levels at 2-2.
We see him still trying to pepper that outside corner with the two-seamer, because Haniger has been in the pull mode. Brandon Drury looks on, and he's on deck.
Back to Clayton Richard. The throw to second base is wild, and that was been a problem of his throughout his career. And the runner will go on to third base. Castillo on the throwing error by Clayton Richard, who has had his problems not throwing strikes to the plate but throwing to the bases. That's why he runs halfway to first and underhands his plays as he did earlier today. That's a double play ball.
We see him dropping down and trying to accurately throw that to get a comfortable release point, obviously pulling that past the opportunity of Ryan Schimpf.
So instead of 2 outs on the double play and no one on, now first and third and no one out. A critical throwing error that gives the Diamondbacks a terrific chance to break on the scoreboard. First runs of the game. Here's the number 8 hitter, Brandon Drury, safe on the air by third baseman Solarte his first time. Infield back, swing and a miss. Breaking ball at 80.
You got to be careful of Brandon Drury. 8 extra base hits against the Padres.
Yeah, it's more than any player in the league. Yet he's not done well with runners in scoring position on the season. Oh, and 2.
See if he goes back to that breaking ball 0-2.
Richard has the count in his favor, 2 strikes. Try to put away Drury with the pitcher Ray next.
Well, this would be a big strikeout.
Right back to him and under his glove. Schimpf will turn it into a 4-3 double play as the run scores. No RBI, of course, but on the throwing error by Richard, the D-backs take a 1-0 lead here in the 5th.
Well, that's a good trade-off, and I think Clayton Richard was probably excited that that ball wasn't hit to him. After that throwing error, a perfect double play for Ryan Schimpf, taking it himself.
That, of course, will be an unearned run. Yeah, one of the big events in thoroughbred racing here in our great community at the beautiful racetrack Del Mar. The $1 million California Classic, and California Chrome was the winner today. Beholder second, the great mare who won it last year, and Dortmund finished third. California Chrome, Kentucky Derby winner, wins the Classic today. So 2 outs, bases empty, and Robbie Ray, the pitcher, struck out the first time. He's not a bad hitter, but didn't look it on that swing. Richard unhappy with himself. Gives up an unearned run, but it's just 1-0 at the halfway mark. Brought to you by Sequan Casino. Sign up for the new Padres Club card today. By Jack in the Box. Try his new Smoky Jack. Taste it before it's gone. And by Mercury Insurance. We're on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com today. So the first hit of the game, a single leading off for Wellington Castillo. He scores by way of a 2-base throwing error, Clayton Richard. As we look at the starters at the halfway mark, Ray has pitched only 4 innings. He's allowed 2 base runners, one his fault, one not. He walked one, and the other was safe on the air by left fielder Weeks. So 1-0 into the bottom of the 5th inning.
That's a good pitching duel, and Robbie Ray, you have to solve that fastball.
Derek Norris, then Kivlahan, the new Padre, and Clayton Richard here in the 5th, and the first pitch is slicing pop fly into right field. It bounces away from Goldschmidt and Gosselin. A tough chance, but it appeared neither man really took charge on the play.
Yeah, it looked like Goldschmidt almost took that off the dome.
So new life for Derek Norris. One and one. Good news for Parkview's Little League team, Chula Vista. After losing to Iowa yesterday, now they're in the losers bracket. They're still alive, but they can't afford another defeat, and they were victorious today against the San Antonio Little League team. 1-2.
Congratulations to the youngsters. That has to feel pretty good. A bounce back win.
You need to win 3 more to make it to the U.S. final.
They can do it.
And have done it before. Misses low, and it's 2-2 to Norris. Quite a game picked by Robbie Ray. 8 strikeouts in 4 innings.
Pretty efficient too. 66 pitches to this point.
Inside and a full count. Went to the breaking ball. Out of play.
Well, last 6 starts for Robbie Ray. Only one time. As we take a look at Tommy Cano family. Hello, guys. Dylan comes in to work, and when we're in the studio, and I love seeing him. A lot of energy. He's excited to be at the ballpark, and we're excited to have him.
I think he's signaling touchdown.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You gotta love that.
3-2. And another strikeout. 9 for Robbie Ray. That'll bring up Patrick Kivlahan. If you're just joining us, Kivlahan just called up from El Paso, a recent signee off the waiver wire by the Padres from the Seattle Mariners. He struck out, took a 3rd strike his first time. Strike 2. Ray's career high strikeouts, 11 against Milwaukee last year. 9 already today, and there's a deep drive to left field, and second at bat as a Padre. Hulavan touches them all. Patrick Kivlahan, a deep drive to left field. Oh, there's a home run smile. He ties it up at 1-1. The first Padre hit of the evening is a home run by a young man that just arrived at the ballpark today.
0-2 count, and Patrick deposits the fastball for his first major league hit in a Padre uniform.
Well, that brings this crowd to life. A 1-1 tie. Welcome to San Diego, Patrick Kivlahan.
That was loud.
Next up is Clayton Richard, and he gets into one and drives the center fielder all the way to the track, and Haniger makes the catch. Go back to the home run swing.
Well, he put a smile on his face. He got a piece of cheese. He got the head out. And that's a nice compact swing and a loud sound off. And when you touch the plate, you break into that big smile and you get to celebrate with your new teammates. Congratulations.
How beautiful is that? First hit is a home run. There it is. And of course there'll be some negotiation as to how we can manage to give that young lady some nice Padre memorabilia so that Kivlahan will get the ball to put on his mantle.
Pretty good chance that the staff of the Padres will go after that baseball pretty quickly.
Jankowski batting 9th. And the breaking ball outside. Now the Padres without a hit, 1 out into the 5th inning until Kivlahan tied into one. A no doubt home run to left.
Well, again, the Padres answering back. So important to do that.
Swing and a miss, 1-2. That's what happened last night. Arizona took the early lead, 2nd inning. Padres tied it in the 2nd. Then Arizona scored in the 7th inning to win. The Padres came back to tie. Then Arizona 2 in the 8th, and a 2-run homer by Schimpf tied it. And finally, the Padres' first time they led in the game was on the final swing when Schimpf hit that 3-run homer in the 10th.
What do you think is going to happen with his phone right now? You think it's blown up?
Barely, right?
You were right there to see it firsthand as he came into the dugout, Clay.
Yeah, he looked pretty happy. He looked pretty. You beat me to the punch on that one, Mark. Man, that was really loud.
Inside to Jankowski, 2-2. Safe on the fielder's choice his first time. Yeah, you can't wipe the smile off his face.
He's happy.
Ooh, protective swing. Remains 2-2.
Well, El Paso, 12 games for El Paso, 341 average, 2 doubles, 1 triple, 1 home run. But those probably didn't put a huge smile on his face like tonight.
That's for sure. And measured at 451 feet. That's one of the longest home runs to left field in Petco history. And that's in for strike 3. 10th strikeout for Robbie Ray through 5 innings, but the Padres have tied it. Patrick Kivlahan introduces himself to the San Diego sports community, Padre fans, with a long Major League home run. Time for our Harrah's game summary. Clayton Richard with a strikeout pitch starts for the Padres. Robbie Ray for the D-backs. He's got 10 strikeouts in the game. Big double play there bailed Richard out of trouble. And a run scored, 1-0, an unearned run. And then, of course, the home run that we've just seen. Patrick Kivlahan in his first major league game, his second major league at bat, hits a home run to tie it at 1. Our Harrah's game summary. Richard back to work, top of the order. Gene Segura here in the 6th. And 2-0 the count. Segura has grounded out and struck out after tearing up Petco Park the first 2 games of the series. 2 for 4 with a home run game 1 and 5 for 6 last night. Chop to third, right 2. Solarte fires across and safe again. Another errant throw by Jan Solarte. That's 2 of them tonight.
And they've been on his arm side too, but I think Will Myers thought that he shifted. Maybe that right foot was on the bag. He immediately shows to Andy Green that he had the bag. Let's take a look. And it looks like he had that right foot on the bag.
But he was dancing off it. A tough call for the umpire. Looked like the right foot might have still been in contact. Let's see here. He makes the catch. Yeah, he's on the bag yet. Now he leaves it. Yeah, he's out.
Well, that's pretty good footwork because you're going into the runner, which is very dangerous. You almost sense out of the corner of your eye of how fast that runner is running down the line.
Well, we had a call last night. Jankowski stealing third. And it appeared that he was in safe. No, it was Schimpf stealing third. And it was not overruled. Although evidence, at least from our angle, showed that, hey, they clearly has his foot on the bag. But the umpire's behind the play, and he can't see whether or not that front edge of the base is being looked at. He's out. Call is overturned. He erased the air out of the Jan Solarte books.
Now Solarte has got to thank Will Myers for that really good footwork from first.
He's got to work on a strike throw all across the diamond here. A couple of bad ones tonight. Gosselin has grounded to short and walked. That's a big reversal because it takes that leadoff man off base. Tied at 1 here in the 6th. Ball 1. And tomorrow the final game of the 4-game series before the Cubs come in for 3 on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll be on the air at 1 o'clock. Military Sunday as always. Saluting military families tomorrow. Luis Perdomo on the mound for San Diego, 5-7. Young Braden Shipley, 2-2. Will go at it for Arizona. Cubs playing up in Colorado come to town Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday afternoon. They lost a tough one last night. Extra innings did the Cubs. I mean, that makes news. Double headline news when the Cubs lose. Boy, are we going to see the best of their pitching staff in the 3-game series.
Well, you want that. It's a good challenge. It's good evaluation.
Nub toward the mound by. Now is no one covering first, so a base hit for Gosselin. So there's the case where the ball was hit so perfectly between Myers and Richard that both of them went for it. That left the first base uncovered. And an infield hit for Gosselin. Another swinging bunt.
Let's go back to the home run of Patrick Kivlahan, and you can see the location, which is pretty important. 0-2 count. Middle in. He squares it up down next to the dugout. Clay, what'd you see?
To me, that was the interesting pitch selection right there. I mean, I know why he did this because he obviously blew the first 2 fastballs by him, but to have that location where it was down and in, you know, obviously he left it out over the plate and he took advantage of it.
He's been pitching so effectively at the top of the strike zone, especially with that fastball.
So the infield hit to Gosselin, 1 out. Here's Goldschmidt. Takes a strike. It's line to left and walked tonight. So the Gosselin scratch hit is the second for Arizona against Clayton Richard.
Well, Clayton Richard has been pounding the bottom of the strike zone, especially with that 2-seamer. Darren Balsley on the phone.
And a stirring out in the Padre bullpen. In the dirt, gets away from Norris. Better hurry, he can turn second and keep going, but Gosselin never looks at the play and pulls up at second. Had he run full out to second and made a turn, might have been a chance for a 2-base advance on the wild pitch. Myers tried to hustle down to help out on the play. So Goldschmidt, their leading RBI producer, has a chance here with a man at second and 1 out.
And actually ricocheted off of Paul Goldschmidt's front leg.
Outside, 2-1. Now first base open, and Goldschmidt has walked more than anyone in the National League, 90 times. Padres walked him intentionally twice last night. In fact, he was put on base 3 straight times at the end of the game. 2 of those intentional. And this might be a pitch around now with first base open.
And you wonder how long that leash is, too. 86 pitches to this point as Dominguez gets loose in the Padre bullpen. 74 offerings last start against the New York Mets.
Three and 1. Well, now pitching around. He hits the outside corner with the knees. 3-2. Weeks on deck, the cleanup hitter. And ball 4. Walk number 91 on the year. And the third given up by Richard tonight. So Balsley's going to go out and offer some advice and encouragement with 1 out, 2 on. It's a 1-1 tie. Another solid start though for Clayton Richard, allowing only the 1 unearned run, and that on his own errant throw to second base on a double play ball. And just the single to Castillo and the infield hit here in the 6th for Gosselin.
Well, you know Clayton Richard wants the ball, and especially with the 88 pitches to this point. He is only one pitch away getting out of this inning. Like a well-located fastball down and away, that two-seamer. What he's trying to get to in this at-bat against Ricky Weeks Jr.
He's bounced to the mound, Weeks, and lined to center. Over but low. Gosselin and Goldschmidt aboard for the D-backs. Arizona last night took a lot of liberties on the bases, and twice with men at first and second, a double steal, and it worked both times. And here they have the same situation. 1 out, men at first and second. Back to the mound. Got to get an accurate throw. No. Goes over center field. Run scores. Over to third goes Goldschmidt, and it's 2-1. So he took his time so that he might throw accurately, and in taking time, the runner and the ball got there almost simultaneously, and it made it a very difficult chance.
Yeah, you could almost see him thinking about this throw. He took his time, as you said, Dick, and pulls another one.
Yanked it. So amazingly, both Arizona runs on throwing errors by Richard on potential double play balls. Gosselin scoring from second base, and Goldschmidt all the way from first to third.
Clay, what do you got on the throw of Clayton Richard?
Well, you can see in that replay in slow motion that you see his front foot. It starts to peel off to the right side a bit. And this is one of the things that I remember working on a lot in the minor leagues, is you always have to replace your feet. You got to get that momentum going to the bag, going towards the target that you're trying to throw it to. You can see there, even though he took his time, his front foot is peeling off to the right, and it goes exactly the direction where the ball went. If you can get that front foot going to second base, you'll probably get a little more accurate throw on it.
Ground ball. This should be 2. Ramirez to Schimpf. Back to first base. A double play. Boy, the double play bails him out again, but another unearned run. It's 2-1 Arizona. Colorado and the Cubs, and look at here, USD's Chris Bryant, a long home run to center field, and he now has the home run lead in the National League with 31, unless Nolan Arenado's hit one in that game as well.
2 for 4 in the game with 4 RBIs with that home run, and that brings his total to 30 on the year. 31, I think.
Well, the Padres now have to come from behind again. It's 2-1, and Ramirez pops it up. Right side, Goldschmidt calling. Boy, that was up Yeah, let's look at the NL wild card, the lower half there. San Francisco. Actually, San Francisco leading in the division, so that should be Los Angeles, but nevertheless, Los Angeles should be in that slot, with St. Louis being the 2 wild cards in the best position, with Miami close and Pittsburgh and New York right down their neck. San Francisco started today a half game in front of LA. They have lost. The Mets beat them at 9-5, but the Dodgers are losing big score, 8-0 in Cincinnati in a rain delay. Will Myers up twice, struck out twice. Struck out a couple of times last night. And he's getting himself in a no-2 hole almost every at bat.
Well, it's Robbie Ray's aggression tonight. He has been pounding the strike zone. He's been able to pitch at the top of the zone with his fastball and only has 1 mistake.
Even a louder shout or grunt on that pitch. 1-2. 85 tosses now for Ray. Two and two.
Well, that's a good take by Will Myers. Seeing that ball out of the hands of Robbie Ray, especially the breaking ball.
Clay, are you familiar with anyone that grunted on every pitch like Ray is tonight?
Yeah, we played a few people that were kind of loud when they were at them, but you can hear them pretty good over here.
It's out of play.
And the great Jake Peavy.
Oh my gosh, right?
Those guys, yeah.
Glad you could hear him.
Who else?
Pete Bell would kind of jump on one a little bit. You know, when it was like 0-2, you could hear him pretty good. But hey, you could hear him kind of all the time, right?
See Brandon Morrow joining the bullpen activity. And another strikeout, Myers. He has now struck out 122 times this year.
Well, rearing back and being proud of his fastball. See the one-handed swing by Will Myers. That's not a good look. Can't feel comfortable for Will Myers tonight.
And that matches Robbie Ray's career high strikeouts in a game, 11. 2 away here in the 6th. Solarte, ground out and a strikeout. It's interesting, the only Padres not to strike out tonight. Ramirez and Clayton Richard.
Well, we said earlier tonight, Robbie Ray coming in, averaging 10.89 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's the highest in baseball among left-handed pitchers.
Watch out. Ground ball foul. Stays on the field of play. Well, this ought to be interesting as we check the Cholula flamethrower.
Well, we've talked about velocity with Robbie Ray all night long. That's 97. It's a visitor, and he's in his grays, so I call him charcoal. It's hot sauce.
Could use some of that hot sauce to color up those gray uniforms. Ground ball up the middle. Shortstop Segura. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Robbie Ray after 6 at Petco. A 2-1 Arizona lead.
Everyone else was talking about, just in every facet, whether it was at 11 o'clock in the morning that you'd get to the yard and you'd see him sitting in the corner by the video room, or out on the field and interacting with people. Just he had a way about him that took the pressure off you. You know, he was the dude. But yeah, when I walked in with my 8 weeks into the big leagues and I roll in, I'm going around introducing myself like some big whatever, and it was very humbling to walk back and say, "Hello, Mr. Gwynn. Trevor Hoffman, nice to meet you." It's just different. It was different.
Monday, take a seat around the table as Tony Gwynn Jr., Trevor Hoffman, Bruce Bochy, and more remember the life and legacy of the great Tony Gwynn. They share more laughter and more tears on a special extended cut of the 19 Memories, a tribute to Tony Gwynn, Monday after Padres Live on Fox Sports San Diego.
So if you've already seen that show, which is absolutely terrific, but there was so much other good material that didn't make it into the 1 hour show that they've opened that up and added some other delicious dialogue about the great Tony Gwynn, and everyone that was on that panel felt they could go 4 or 5 hours and not run out of material.
Well, I commend our producer Jacob Santos for putting that all together. Too much information when it came into where you were going to cut it, and that's the reason why the extended coverage of that show. And what an emotional time as we see Jose Dominguez coming in for his 20th game.
Pitching change brought to you by El Cajon Ford. 2-1. Wellington Castillo leads it off and takes ball 1. So Clayton Richard goes 6 innings, 2 runs unearned, 2 hits, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. And but for the 2 errant throws on potential double play balls at second, it would be a 1-0 Padre lead. High pop up behind home plate. Norris doesn't have a play. That's bombs away, coming down straight down onto some unsuspecting heads there about the 7th row. Boy, that man, he's got 2 bags of chips. He's got himself a drink and a baseball. Now that's a day's work right there. Dominguez. Just a little low. 2-1. Haniger and Drury to foul. Haniger double switch will move over to left field. Bourne goes into center, and Weeks is out of the game. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Castillo has one of the 2 hits off Clayton Richard. Single to center in the 5th.
Now this will put you right in the box.
Outside at 97. Now that 97 on the Cholula counter would be what?
Oh, that's hot sauce. Are you kidding me?
Oh, there we go.
I get excited over home whites.
So we can kind of tell what side we're talking about based on how you express hot sauce. Huh?
Yeah, tonight was hot sauce.
No, that's not the way to start for Dominguez. He walks the leadoff man. And Quackenbush made his return. Very successful last night, coming back from El Paso. 2 innings, 2 hits, struck out 4, and earned the win.
Well, I love Kevin Quackenbush's curveball last night. Much improved, and looked like he was throwing it just a little bit harder. The velocity, the bite. And a lot of awkward swings from the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Haniger, the hitter. Ball 1. He is struck out and was safe on one of the throwing errors by Clayton Richard on the comeback. Way outside.
Yeah, Dominguez is pulling that fastball to his glove side.
See if Haniger is going to make him throw a strike here. No, swinging and fouls it away. He's hitting .325 in AAA ball with 24 home runs, called up by the D-backs. The infield has turned a couple of double plays supporting Richard. They'd like to get another opportunity. Not on this ball. A fly ball to center. Jankowski easing in under for the first down. That'll bring up Brendan Drury, the 8-hitter.
Tuesday on Fox Sports San Diego, Mike Pomeranz goes one-on-one with Jabari Blash on an all-new SD Live Tuesday after Padres Live on Fox Sports San Diego. Cheryl Gorman, on-air promotions, does a lot for our Fox Sports San Diego and his family, her family, excuse me. All-Star Game shirt, you gotta love that. With the swag.
He's a future big leaguer right there. Drury backs away from an inside fastball. Safe on an error by Solarte, a throwing error. And grounded into a double play. I shortchanged the Padre defense. They've turned a double play in each of the last 3 innings. 3 tonight. There's a strike. 1-1. Yeah, the Padres trying to improve on their Saturday night record. They're 12-7 on the season, and they, of course, their best night has been Friday. Win again last night. They're 14-6 on Friday, so 26-13 Friday Saturday combo. We ought to change the calendar. Play every Friday and Saturday. Ground ball into the hole. Ramirez to second for one. Back to first. A double play. 4 double plays in the last 4 innings for the Padre infield. And we're at the stretch half of the 7th inning at Petco. The Diamondbacks lead 2-1. And the Padres will bring up Ryan Schimpf to lead off the home half of the 7th. Bill Howe play of the game, and the play is one swing of the man just called up from El Paso, Patrick Kivlahan, a monster home run, 451 feet to left field, his first major league game, his second big league at bat, and he hits a home run to be remembered for the rest of that young man's life.
Big league smile.
Yeah, the Padres need a run to pull back to a tie as Ryan Schimpf looks at a breaking ball to start things here in the 7th. Bethancourt and Norris to follow. Struck out and safe on the error by left fielder Weeks, who's no longer in the game. Waved at and missed. 0-2. Haniger moving from center to left field, and Michael Bourne now in center field. Weeks out of the game. He's matched his strikeout total, Robbie Ray. and he's allowed the only hit, that home run. Pulled foul. The attendance on this Saturday night, 32,591. Entertained to a fast-paced pitcher's battle. 2 runs, 2 hits. Arizona, 1 run, 1 hit for the Padres. Swing and a miss, and there's a new mark, a dozen strikeouts for Ray. And time for In the Driver's Seat, brought to you by Kia. Well, you have to put Robbie Ray in that seat tonight, wouldn't you? 6 1/3, 12 strikeouts, only 1 hit, a home run. He's walked only 1 man.
Well, he sprinkled in some breaking balls, but it has been domination with the fastball tonight. The grunting along with the velocity.
Christian Bethancourt has struck out both at bats. And he swings through that fastball, 96.
Well, Bethancourt's got to cut it down. He's getting way too big, and it happens a lot when you see plus velocity.
Faster the pitch comes, you think the faster you have to swing the bat.
And we've all been exposed to that. We've all done that in the batter's box.
Inside, 1-1. Boy, he's holding his velocity. 3 pitches from 100, and that last one was 97 miles an hour. Derek Norris on deck. One and 2.
And that's a mistake. Same pitch Patrick Keeblehan had down and in. When you foul balls off, now you're going to get a pitcher's pitch rather than a hitter's pitch most times.
Just does clip that one foul. And that'll take Ray to his 100th pitch of the game. 1 out here in the 7th, and a couple of unearned runs. The D-backs lead 2-1. Talk about maximum effort pitching. Robbie Ray would fall into that category tonight. Got him. Pitch out of the strike zone, and 3 times up, 3 times struck out is Bethancourt. 13 punch outs.
Well, after the fastball, you're exposed to the breaking ball. When you lengthen your swing, you can pitch right below the barrel of the bat.
Ray struck out the side in the 2nd, struck out the side in the 4th. He had 2 strikeouts in the 5th, and now he's got 2 more to start the 7th. He's had at least 1 in every inning. Derek Norris up twice, has struck out twice. Ball 1. Outside corner, actually caught most of the plate there. 1-1. Ray's just 24. In fact, he's been traded to 3 different teams. Has the potential, hasn't performed, but boy, this is some good-looking pitcher tonight.
It sure is.
Out of play, and he's a pitch away from striking out the side again.
With Robbie Ray due to lead off in the top of the 8th, I would think this would be his last inning, if not last hitter.
He has 13 strikeouts. There have been only 7 outs by his infield outfield. That ball hit pretty well, but not well enough, as Bourne into the game now comes in for it and makes the catch. Another 1-2-3 inning for Ray. 7 complete. 2-1 D-backs.
Ray is really the story of this ball game.
Yeah, he's been absolutely on fire and actually throwing fire, Mike. The guy's got 13 tickets for the night, punching a lot of the San Diego Padres out this evening.
Got a lot of fastball, and it's right now just a little too much for the Padres to handle, but he's up close to 100 pitches, so hopefully we won't see him much longer get into that bullpen right now as your Padres do trail 2-1 in the top of the 8th inning. When Clay and I see on Padres Live, the postgame show, which will be brought to you by Cox Communications. We're going to hear from Andy Green for sure, but the star of the game from the Padres perspective has to be the rookie. It's Patrick Kivlehan. His first big league hit, a bomb, as you know, 451 feet. So we're going to get inside the clubhouse and hear from him after the final out tonight. Dick and Mark?
Yeah, it'll be great to get his reaction, won't it? I mean, what a way, just storybook stuff. You dream as a kid, little league on, that you come up to the big leagues, you're going to hit a home run that first game. And so it has been for the 26-year-old former Rutgers star, Patrick Kivlehan. Well, we're going to see Chris Owings bat for Robbie Ray. So Ray over the 100 pitch mark. Brilliant. 13 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 hit allowed. And Owings, a 283 hitter. We'll start things here in the 8th.
That's a good thing for the Padres. Get him out of the game.
Yeah, they haven't had a loud foul other than the home run by Kivlehan. Owings, and then the top of the order, Segura and Gosselin against Dominguez. First ball hunting, and he sends it out toward Bethancourt on the edge of the track for the first down.
This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any game.
Take two.
Let's do that again.
Take two.
Let's do that again. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Outstanding, and erase the first cut.
Yeah, you know what? Just take the eraser out or white out.
Here's Segura, 0 for 3 tonight. That's saying something. Started tonight in the series 7 for 10. Dominguez into a second inning of work. Swing and a miss at the 95. Dodgers being cuffed around by Cincinnati tonight, but they're in a rain delay in the 7th inning with the Reds leading 8-0. Giants have lost. If it stays that way, the Giants will remain a half game atop the NL West. Hit hard, center field. Jankowski, a long way to go, and is there for the catch. A couple of long outs here in the 8th inning for the D-backs. Segura 0 for 4. Here's Phil Gosselin. Ground out walk, and his little number between the pitcher and first came out an infield hit. As you look at that play again.
Yeah, you got to love this. And Travis Jankowski considers himself a pretty good center fielder, but the calmness that he has and going back and straight back, and love the fact that he is aware of his surroundings when it comes down to playing center field. I think he's a young Steve Finley when it comes down to it.
Boy, that's high praise. He's been outstanding. Gosselin hit a little cue shot between the pitcher and first base, so perfectly rolled that Richard just did get to it, but Myers wasn't sure, so he went for it as well. There was no one covering first base. That infield hit, then a 2-base throwing error, and the D-backs scored an unearned run in the 6th. It's just that one little hit to give them the 2-1 lead they now enjoy. A ball and a strike to Gosselin. Padres will have the lower third of their order, bottom of the 8th. Sharply hit. Schimpf right there to close the door. And it's a 1-2-3 inning. 3 hard hit balls, all for outs. Radio presents Padres Baseball. Brought to you by RCP Block and Brick. Start your outdoor project at rcpblock.com. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealers. There he is, rounding the bases, Patrick Kivlahan. Acquired by the Padres. Released by the Seattle Mariners, and the 26-year-old in his first major league game, second at bat with a long home run. The only hit for the Padres tonight has entered Jake Barrett. Phoenix area born, raised, and went to school at Arizona State and stays in town to play for the D-backs.
Now Jake Barrett pitched in the first game of this series. He gave up 3 runs in 2/3 of an inning. Fastball upwards to 97 miles an hour, and a slider and a changeup. There's the slider.
Kivlahan leads it off with the pitcher spot due next. And Brett Wallace has a bat in the on-deck circle. He went around 0-2.
Back-to-back sliders. Brandon Morrow heating up in the Padre bullpen.
Out of play. Well, the D-backs have had some trouble. They may get the lead, but tough holding on since the All-Star break. Last in the majors with a 7.09 ERA.
Chip Hale is relying on a lot of young arms down there.
Chop on a late swing. Barrett is one of those. He's 25. Went to high school in Mesa, Phoenix area, Arizona State. Rookie trying to impress.
Well, what's interesting, and you see a lot of this throughout baseball, velocity, as you see Chris Owens taking over at shortstop. But velocity comes into play, and Jake Barrett has the velocity, but also the slider and changeup. Both velocities on those 2 off-speed offerings is 87, 86. Not a huge differential even between the off-speed pitches.
Ground ball sharply into right field, and Kivlahan has both San Diego hits tonight. Leadoff man on, representing the tying run. A little late on the swing, but able to punch it through the hole on the right side. There's a reward over there on that right side for right-handed hitters.
And you got to love the adjustment. He had 4 sliders in that at bat, and the improvement, and again 2-strike hitting for the young right-handed hitter, going the other way after a bomb in his first at bat.
Ball does jump off his bat, doesn't it? Here's Brett Wallace hitting for Jose Dominguez. And Chip Hale, the manager of the Diamondbacks, after seeing Barrett give up the leadoff hit, is going to the bullpen, and that's been a problem all season long.
Diamondbacks lead in MLS Soccer Sunday, sponsored by Audi, returns tomorrow with a red-hot Western Conference rivalry. Don't miss as Clint Dempsey and the Sounders collide against the Portland Timbers tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Pacific on FS1, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go.
Well, those fans up there in the Great Northwest love their soccer, and those two teams really put on a show. Heated rivals. That'll be good stuff. Now here's Adam Rosales. He's going to bat. I don't know if Brett Wallace was introduced into the game. I would assume he was, because they brought in the left-hander to pitch to him. So manager Andy Green has to use two batters here in this slot to have the matchup he wants. Leadoff man, Kivlahan with a single. Padres trail 2-1 here in the bottom of the 8th. Low ball one.
With that short bench, I would assume Andy Green is probably going to keep Rosales in the ballgame. Go with the double switch, because with a short bench you have to be very creative when it comes to using your guys.
Hathaway worked last night, had a couple of outs, walked a man. Indeed, Wallace was announced, and so that is another chip that is off the table for the Padres. Rosales, he can run into one, as we all well know. 8 home runs. Takes inside, 2-0. $32,591 on baseball night in San Diego. Nice giveaway gift tonight, the lunch kits or the water coolers.
Back to school time.
Yeah. Well, Rosales sitting on a 2-0 pitch, and it's in there. 91. Travis Jankowski hitting 9th tonight. Andy Green had the starting pitcher Clayton Richard in the 8th slot, so Jankowski's on deck. Then to the top of the order. Boy, he got his pitch up on the letters. 2-2. And now he's got to choke back a little bit here, make contact, keep this inning going. High and a full count. Hathaway shook off his catcher Castillo.
Yeah, that was a changeup that almost got away from him.
Fox Tracks brought to you by Nissan. You can see the number 5, how high that was.
Yeah, it almost hit the car.
So a big pitch here, 3-2. Pinch hitter Rosales. See what Castillo has in mind. Fastball away. And a drive into left field for a base hit into the corner. On his way to third. And safe there on a double. Pinch hit double for Adam Rosales. Kivlahan making it to third, and with no one out, the Padres have the tying run 90 feet away and the go-ahead score at second.
Well, you got to love manager Andy Green pulling the punches, and especially against the young left-hander. He inserts his right-handed weapon off the bench, and Adam Rosales puts that right into left field corner. Second and third, no outs. Patrick Kivlahan is going around and easily into third base. Gotta love the energy Adam Rosales gives.
Oh, every time, even on a base on balls, he'll race to first, and of course on his home runs, not the trot but the sprint. So meeting at the mound is the D-back strategy with Jankowski up. They've got to deal with his bunting ability, his speed. How do you play it? You've got a one-run lead. Are you willing to play back and protect yourself against an easy ground ball single and concede the run to tie?
Mike Butcher was out to talk to his pitcher, but I think that was something Chip Hale had to give to him, what the responsibilities are for the infielders.
The Padres held a one-hit through 7 innings by starter Robbie Ray. Have come up with a single and a double off the bullpen. Still no one out. Jankowski ground out and struck out his 2 at-bats against Ray. Boy, a hanger, ball 1.
He doesn't look comfortable with the off-speed offerings. That's the curveball. He saw a changeup to Rosales that was uncomfortable as well.
So the infield does play back up the middle. In at third is Drury. His play would be to the plate, and Goldschmidt is in just bag high at first. Anything by the mound's a run. Way off the head of the bat at 73.
I'm actually surprised that the Diamondbacks aren't playing in on here. See the defense in on the corners. I'm pretty surprised they are deep in the middle.
Well, any ground ball up the middle and it's a tie game. Chip Hale, frustrated look there in the dugout. Low, 2-1.
Very inconsistent command.
One of the many players, a rookie here, not on the 40-man roster in spring training, but working his way into the big leagues this year. Hathaway. 2-1. Caught the corner at the knees.
Well, inconsistent command comes with a perfect pitch for Hathaway, the curveball. How about this look? See the leg kick of Jankowski. Just tracking that curveball, and it's a perfect pitch on that outside corner.
So 2-2 to Jankowski. Another breaking ball hangs high. Could have been called a strike.
And that Castillo looked like he had a windshield wiper going in the back there, pulling that down.
Sometimes on the high pitches you pull it down too much. And the umpire figures, well, that wasn't a strike. If you hold it there a little bit and subtly bring it in, you might get the call. Anyway, 3-2. Runners at second and third. No one out. Padres trail 2-1.
So many of those catchers give that illusion of what the breaking ball is doing, and they just go with it to bring it down.
Kivlahan, the new Padre at third, the tying run. Ball 4 and the bases are loaded. And Chip Hale has seen enough, so he's going to use a third pitcher here in the 8th inning as Barrett and Hathaway unable to get an out. And the Padres with a golden opportunity, trailing 2-1, bases loaded, no one out. Here we go. Padres with 3, a 2-1 Arizona lead on a pair of unearned runs. But the Padres have the bases loaded, no one out, and veteran Daniel Hudson, the right-hander, comes in for the D-backs.
Daniel Hudson in his 53rd game. You see the lefties swinging very well, but he's going to face 2 righties to start it off. Fastball, slider, and changeup. Pitches both sides of the plate with his fastball. The velocity can get up to 98 miles an hour.
And was recovered from a couple of Tommy Johns. Against Hudson, Ramirez, who steps into the batter's box now, is 2 for 5. Myers 1 for 4. Solarte 0 for 4. Now the Padres, trailing after 7 innings this year, are 4-63. Most teams trailing after 7 lose, but 4-63. Here's an opportunity to change that number. No one out, bases loaded, down by 1. Ramirez has hit the ball to first baseman Goldschmidt all 3 times.
See if he stops him off with a curveball.
Infield remains back up the middle. Popped up. There's the first out. As Ramirez on the first pitch saw a fly ball to the third baseman. Now the D-backs in position, a double play ball, and they're out of jail. Myers against Ray struck out all 3 times. Well, Myers a hitter that loves to play at Petco and hit at Petco, a .341 average. That's the 4th best in the National League hitting at home. So far, nothing in his first 3 at bats, but a golden opportunity to give the Padres the lead with the bases loaded. Padre over every pillow. Breaking ball for a strike. Padre leader knocking in runs. 71.
A theme against Will Myers has been sliders away, fastballs in.
A little broken bat fly ball, 2 away. Boy, Hudson comes in and gets a couple of soft fly balls on the infield. That sounded like a broken bat. So 2 away, and Padres can't tie it on an out.
I'll go by pitch. Daniel Hudson against Will Myers. The first pitch slider for the strike, perfect pitch, and then the fastball tracing in on his hands. And the frustration continues for Will Myers and the Padres.
So it's up to Yan Solarte. He's grounded out twice and struck out, batting left-handed for the first time. His stronger side. And he's been tough with the bases loaded, as you just saw, 429 in his career. 3 men aboard. Inside at 95.
Even had some 2-seam movement to the 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Hudson, the 4th pitcher in history to have Tommy John 2 consecutive years and come back and throw 95, 96. Inside, 1-1. .394 Solarte's average against D-back pitching this year. And that includes 4 home runs. 8 games. A ball and a strike. Ground ball, foul. And Hudson's 1 pitch away from a sterling effort out of the pen.
We've seen Daniel Hudson be very aggressive with his fastball in, both to Will Myers, Alexei Ramirez, and now Yangervis Solarte.
He doesn't look like a pitcher that enters the game with a 6.34 ERA. him up. What a job by Hudson. 3 fly balls on the infield with the bases loaded. And the inning is over. The Padres strand 3, and it remains 2-1 Arizona. The families of military men and women. And on the mound will be Luis Perdomo, looking for a 6th win of the year against Brayton Shipley, young right-hander for the D-backs. He's 2-2. We'll be talking with you at 1 o'clock here on Fox Sports San Diego with Padres Live, the pregame show, final game of the 4-game series. Well, what a job by the veteran, Daniel Hudson. Needed only 7 pitches to get 3 outs with the bases loaded, and the Padres couldn't get out of the infield. Brandon Morrow, to take over the top of the 9th inning, will face Goldschmidt, Michael Bourne, and Yasmani Tomas. Goldschmidt, a couple of walks and a line out to left. He's walked 5 times his last 6 at-bats in the series. One hopper to Solarte. Ames fires in the dirt and dug out by Myers. Goodness, what's happened to Solarte? He hasn't come close to throwing a decent throw over to first base tonight. 1 error, almost a 2nd error, and Myers saves him here.
And you can see him doing that crow hop, but quickly, which he had a lot of time. A nice dig by Will Myers.
That was up in the heel of the glove.
Well, the footwork has been good with Will Myers, and also picking the ball in the dirt.
So Michael Bourne entered the game as a defensive replacement an inning ago. .252 hitter with 3 home runs. A veteran with a lot of career bases stolen. Picked up by Arizona this year when they lost A.J. Pollock, a .315 hitter and 20 home runs a year ago. Lost him in spring training, and he's just now going on some rehab assignments. And David Peralta has been suffering with a bad back on and off the DL 3 times. 2 terrific hitters were counted upon in an offense that was outstanding all last year.
And also trading away Ender Inciarte.
Yeah, those were all 300 hitters last year in the outfield for the D-backs, plus Yasmani Tomas. But injuries taking a bite out of that talent.
Well, injuries and inconsistent play has frustrated Chip Hale and the whole organization for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
2-1 to Bourne. Tomas to follow. Not been easy for Chip Hale. Nothing's been easy for him this year. 50 wins, 72 losses. Ground ball, nice stop by Ramirez from his knees. A 2-hopper, not in time. Well, they made the stop, but then the throw pulling Myers maybe off the back, couldn't catch it anyway, so that's got to be an infield hit, a tough play. And that's how it scored.
Well, tough play because of the speed of Michael Bourne, but watch the veteran shortstop getting rid of that early and throwing that on the long hop. Will Myers not coming up with it.
He's trying to maintain contact with the bag, so he's stretching as far as he can and couldn't quite wrap the leather around it.
See it hitting the heel of his glove and popping out of that big first baseman's mitt.
So Bourne, a 1-out single here in the 9th, and got to keep your eye on him. He's a base stealer. Tomas has grounded out 3 times, twice into a double play. Padres have turned 4, in fact, in the middle innings. In the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th innings, turned double plays in support of Clayton Richard, and then Jose Dominguez. High fly ball. Bethancourt eyes it as he moves toward the line. No advance by Bourne. 2 away. Castillo steps up. Singleton scored a run in the 5th. He's also walked. If you're just joining us, both runs scored by Arizona unearned. Both a similar situation. Comebacker and 1 hop to Richard, and his throw to second base trying to start a double play went into center field both times. And Arizona taking advantage, scored in those 2 innings, and that's their lead, 2-1.
Well, you got to be aware of Michael Bourne in this situation. With that 1-run lead, they're going to try to sneak across one more run. Dave McKay, the first base coach, knows how calculated this run could be.
Bourne with a dozen steals this year. Ooh, almost threw it away.
Brandon Morrow mixing up his times. That's what you have to do to control the running game. He knows how important this is.
342 career steals for Bourne. Not a commanding lead. Line drive, base hit. Solid single to left. There goes Bourne around second. It gets by the left fielder, and Bourne into third, and galloping into second base goes Castillo, and with 1 out, 2 outs now, second and third for the D-backs. Boy, that was a solid shot, Castillo. And left fielder Kilmahan had trouble coming up with it. Let's see how they scored.
Here's the defense going into that gap and not being able to glove it.
So they're ruling it a single and an error on the left fielder. So that's the 4th Padre error in the game. Last month has not been good in that regard. The fielding has hardly been clean. So single E7. I believe that Bourne would have made it to third anyway. Key now is to keep those runners at second and third, 2 outs. Mitch Haniger has struck out, safe on an error by pitcher Richard, and a fly ball to center. A 1-run game, trying to keep it that way. Brandon Morrow. Breaking ball outside, 1-1. Oh, got a strike call on that. 0-2. At the outside edge. Try to put away the young center fielder in his first week in the major leagues. Steve, right 3-pitch strikeout. No damage done. Bottom of the 9th. It'll be Schimpf leading off for the Padres. Standing, allowed only 1 hit, a home run, and struck out 13, a career high. He baffled Padre hitters throughout. Clayton Richard pitched well, but couldn't hit the second base. 2 of those led to 2 unearned runs. The only run for the Padres by Patrick Kivlahan. He has both Padre hits tonight in his first major league game, a home run, a monster home run, 451 feet and a single. Bottom of the 9th, last night's hero, Ryan Schimpf, with 2 doubles, 2 home runs, a 3-run homer in the 10th inning to win it against Enrique Burgos.
We've seen Enrique pitch in all 3 games, and last night Ryan Schimpf took a split finger with 2 strikes out of the ballpark.
That was the 2-run homer in the 8th inning that tied the game at 4. His 29th appearance, he does not have a save. Well, here it is, the same matchup. High and away at 95. Here's the home run. Look how low the pitch is. Almost hit it off home plate. And that took it from 4-2 to tie it at 4. Outside, and he's pitching carefully so far to Schimpf.
You know that's fresh in his mind on both sides, both the pitcher and the hitter. Good time to look for a mistake, and if you're Ryan Schimpf, you're on go mode, even with a 2-0 count and down 1.
Schimpf has struck out, safe on an error, and struck out again. And he's going for the downs and got a pitch with 96.
Nothing wrong with that. 2-0 count. He got a good pitch.
And is there more magic in this 28-year-old Schimpf's bat? 2-1. Overpowered there. 2-2.
A fastball by Burgos, and it's elevated over the barrel of Ryan Schimpf's bat.
Last night he was ahead on the count and threw that split finger, and that's the home run ball for Schimpf. Let's see if he stays with the fastball tonight. Once it high, and he gets it. 1 away. So Burgos wins that battle tonight, and here comes Christian Bethancourt.
Well, three straight fastballs with velocity, 97 miles an hour on that last one.
14th strikeout for D-back pitching tonight brings up Bethancourt, who has contributed all 3 at-bats to strikeouts to that count. Takes outside, didn't go. Two-1, Arizona. Base is empty, 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th for the Padres. Wasn't inside that much, just a little high. 2-0.
90-mile-an-hour slider.
Derek Norris. 0 for 3. Padres have only 3 hits, 2 of them by the rookie Kivlahan. Outside, 3-0. Nothing wrong with getting a base runner here on a walk. High, ball 4. Might have been called a strike. But a 4-pitch walk, and Bethancourt, the tying run is on. That'll bring the winning run to the plate here in the bottom of the 9th. anyone is due to hit a long ball, that's the man about to step into the batter's box. Derek Norris has not homered in 34 games. Last home run was before the All-Star game at Dodger Stadium, so due with a capital D.
It'll be interesting to see how Burgos handles the running game too. We've seen big leg kicks with nobody on.
Bethencourt does have good speed for a big guy. Norris has struck out twice and flied to center. .96 the strike. Outfield double prevent depth. With Kiblahan, a home run and a single on deck. Ball gets away, not enough for an advance. 1-1. Burgess trying to save it for Robbie Ray. He won 7 innings, a one-hit ball and 13 strikeouts. Padres trying to repeat their come from behind and walk-off win of last night. High fly ball, center field, routine. And Bourne is there for the catch. And the second out. And our Carl's Jr. star of the game, no doubt about that, is Robbie Ray, the 24-year-old southpaw with blazing fastballs and a wicked breaker. 13 strikeouts, his career high, and only 1 hit, 1 run, and that was the home run by the man stepping in the batter's box, Patrick Kiblahan. Robbie Ray, our Carl's Jr. star of the game. Kiblahan, after taking a 3rd strike, hit that long home run to left to tie the game at 1, and then singled through the right side the last time. Check swing foul. I believe that was foul tip. Popped in and out of the glove of Castillo.
Let's take a look at that check swing as it goes off Kiblahan and then off of Castillo.
Bethencourt at first base, 2 outs here in the 9th. Oh, 55-footer. Good stop by Castillo. Is that the split finger? Yep.
How about that lawn dart?
Hockey save for Castillo.
That might have had grass on it.
Blowing away, 2-1. Alex Dickerson would be next should the Padres keep it going. Action pitch coming up.
Alex Dickerson had a ringing double against Burgos in the first game.
Bases loaded double that won it for the Padres in that 9-8 scoring fest. Major league pop fly way up into the 3rd tier. 2-2 now. Down to the final strike. In the dirt again. Is that split finger?
It is.
He's thrown that twice in the dirt, so if you're the hitter, don't you have to think you're going to get a fastball?
Yeah, interesting pitch choice with 2-2. You don't want to go 3-2. And this has not been a comfortable located pitch. You can see Castillo just battling that.
And that'll give Bethancourt a couple of extra steps. 3 and 2, 2 outs. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The 15th strikeout by Arizona pitching tonight. A couple of costly unearned runs, and the D-backs come away with a victory in Game 3 of the series. The final then, Arizona 2, San Diego 1. Here's Mike Pomerantz.
Dick, thanks very much. Yeah, this was a really strange ball game. When Clay and I see in a post-game show, you're going to hear from Patrick Kivlahan, who made his major league debut in a big way